you guys, it is 1:23 a.m. It is like such a cool night outside. It is very like late summer, early fall. It kind of reminds, I mean, it is early fall obviously, but it reminds me of like early nights in high school when I was, like when I first met my group of friends and we would like go out and drive around and smoke cigarettes. We smoked those clove cigarettes back then. Do you remember those clove cigarettes? And listen to The Cure and The Smiths and all those bands. I remember this one night. It was like the first night I ever went out with my friends, and it was my friend Jenny, and I have two friends, Jenny, but it was this one friend, Jenny, and then my two friends are twins, Margaret and Michelle, my friend Heather, and we were in somebody's, this other girl that I wasn't really that great of friends with her. We were like sophomore and she was like senior, and so she had the car, and so anyway, on the way home, we like went downtown and like walked around. That's like what you do in Indianapolis. You like would go to the Circle and walk around, or, you know, go to the mall, but the mall closes at early. So anyway, we were like driving back, and I remember like my friend Margaret and Jenny and I were like in the back. Do you guys remember those old station wagons? I never see these anymore. Those old station wagons that like the back seat looked out the back, and we had like the window all the way down, and we were like, they were blasting that song, bye bye Miss American Pie, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, and good old boys, risky and wise, singing this'll be the day that I die. Do you guys remember that song? Does everybody know that song? Everybody knows that song. I love that song. I actually have that on my iTunes. I'm gonna listen to that in a couple minutes. But anyway, so it kind of reminds me of those nights, you know, and it's like a Friday night, and you know you still have like Saturday and Sunday. And I remember back then on the weekends, like typically if I stayed with my mom, like I would just be like around the house. Like I would go out like on the weekends or one night, but like we typically, like, this is so strange, but I remember having like friends of my mom's from college come and stay for like extended periods of time with us. So like she had a couple different friends that would come and stay with us like for 3 or 4 weeks. Remember her friend Diane that died 3 years before her lived on Beaver Island, Michigan, and she would come like in the fall because like the summer was their what do you call it? It was their tourist season, and she worked at this hotel, and she was a bartender at a bar called Jack's, and my mom always called it the Island, and Diane lived there like her whole life. So anyway, very cool, very beatnik hippie. She lived in the Haight-Ashbury like in the 60s, and just a really cool woman. It was like my mom's best friend always. She was like a year behind my mom in high school, and they had been friends since like they were 14 and 15. But anyway, when summer was over, like mid-September, Diane would come and stay with us, and she had this friend that would like drive her up here, and because she didn't have a car and she didn't drive, and so she would come down and stay with us for like a month, and then before she went back to the island, because like in December when it started snowing really heavy in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, like Charlevoix is where Beaver Island is, so you take the ferry over. Well, like the ferry would only come over like once a month, so they like really couldn't get off the island. They were there all winter, and so they had to stay there on the island. So Diane would come for like a month before it got really cold. So they would just stay up and drink and smoke cigarettes and watch movies, and Diane would want to go and like rent all of the Alfred Hitchcock movies that she had never seen, and you know, all of the Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn movies like Foul Play and Seems Like Old Times. It was just very homey. I remember like long before people got really into candles, my mom always burnt a lot of candles in our house, and our house was just, you know, always smelled good, and you know, smelled like potpourri, and she always had the windows open because we lived in the woods, and so we had the woods behind us and this cul-de-sac, and you could always hear, like, people always mention on my live streams that they hear the crickets, but it's like I grew up with the crickets, so it's like very like, you know, you could hear the creek running behind our house, and I remember like falling asleep with the sound of like my mom and Diane like talking late into the night and laughing and listening to music and stuff, which is very comforting, very homey. And that would be like when I was in high school. And then like on Sundays, you know, my mom would always make some huge meal, like chili and like raw apple muffins, garlic bread, a huge salad, you know, or she would make like meatloaf, which is so interesting because I used to hate meatloaf when I was in high school. And like recently, since I've been like, this week has been hard. I've been craving meat a lot, and specifically meatloaf. I don't know why, but she would make like, you know, meatloaf and like, you know, all the vegetables and a salad and a dessert, cookies or something, or she would make chicken curry. I love, that's my mom's favorite meal that she made for me, was chicken curry and orange muffins. She made these amazing orange muffins. Or banana bread. Something's going on over there at Conner Prairie. It's late too. What else would she make? You know, huge pots of spaghetti. Her chili, my mother's chili was like none other. It was so good. Best chili in the world. Oh, anyway. Or, ham and beans. My mom made a lot of ham and beans and corn muffins and cornbread and like, you know, pasta salad and all that kind of stuff. And she would always just a potato salad and just have like a spread of it. My mom made the best raw, like homemade potato salad too, with like celery and all kinds of stuff in it. Tuna fish salad sandwiches we would have with tomato soup. My mom did breakfast for dinner a lot, which is, what do we call that, Brenner? So anyway, and those were Sundays. And then, you know, we would watch Little House on the Prairie and we would watch a movie together. And then I would go to bed early for school. And those were the weekends back then. And I miss that. You know, Saturdays were for sleeping in. My mom never had any issue with me sleeping in. I remember my friends' parents were like, you need to get up. It's 10 o'clock. My mom didn't care if I slept till 10 or, you know, 12 or 1. And with my dad, it was like, so my dad lives on a lake. And, so, you know, like, I would wake up on Saturdays or Sundays and they would have, like, the sailboat races out there. And, you know, they very much did the same thing. My dad always grilled out steaks on the weekends. You know, we would, like, since I was kind of isolated out there, that was before I had a car. I didn't have a car until my junior year because of my age. So, like, halfway through my junior year. So, you know, I really relied on people to come get me, which my friends did and took me out. But, like, most of the time I would stay with my dad and my stepmom and watch movies or grill out. We had good times. We had a lot of good times. We went out of town a lot too on weekends that I was with him. But I just remember how much fun weekends were. And it was so funny because last weekend, Alex and I, we go to Cafe Patachou in Indianapolis every Sunday for brunch. And I talked about this on here, but like I had my like sobriety commitment and I came home early. And I was like, can we just go to brunch right now and then eat? And he was like, yeah, sure. Or can we go to brunch right now and eat and then come home and take a nap? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we did that, and I like came home and, excuse me, I feel like I'm gonna belch. But anyway, we were sitting there and it was so nice outside. And I just had this moment and I was like, I love Sundays. Like, Sundays are just so fantastic. And he was like, yeah, but you only ever have like one meeting on Mondays you have to go to. So like, it's like not a sobriety meeting, but like a project meeting. And he was like, if even that, so you don't typically work on Mondays, which is true. But there's something very homey about, I mean, I am totally a homebody. I really am. And I love, you know, like the house smelling like, you know, fresh chocolate chip or oatmeal cookies with candles lit and the fire in the fireplace and watching a movie and the dogs running around and the bed made ready for us to go to sleep at night. Like, I love all of that, you know. It's just, I love being around my house. My house is comfy. It's just, you know, I don't, even if we go to like Melissa, like I love when we go to Melissa and Jason's and we'll go out to dinner with them and then go watch a movie and then we come home to bed together and go to bed, and I love that, you know, and it's just very homey. And so tonight, well, Alex had this conference all day today, and so he texted me, and he was like, halfway through, he was like, do you want to have a date night tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure. And honestly, like, I really, to be honest with you, did not feel like it. My chest was really hurting, and I think it's allergies, because I, like, ran out of my allergy medicine. So I can't take anything that has, I don't like anything. What's the stuff that's in most allergy medicine? It's called something. Why can't I think of what it's called? Anyway, I don't take anything that's habit forming or makes you feel different or anything. I don't take any kind of medication like that. So I take this medication that a friend of mine a couple years ago, my friend Brian, like introduced me to, and it's called Aloe Vera, and it's this allergy medicine, and it's like a tab that like melts on your tongue. I actually probably should just drive to Meijer right now and get some, because I need to get some deodorant too. But oh my God, I am totally, like, this stuff works so great for me. And you can get like 60 for like $10. And you don't even feel that you've taken it. It's really, like, I don't take anything like habit forming. So, like, I always feel like back in the day when I would take that stuff, it was just like anything. Like, I mean, I'm so susceptible to pills that, like, even if I took like a NyQuil or something back in the day before I got sober, I'd just be so messed up. So I'm a Puritan about those things. I don't take anything. I take Aleve for my migraines. I take Depakote for my epilepsy. I take Aloe Vera only when needed for my allergies, because I get really bad hay fever allergies, which in the Midwest is horrible. And then I take melatonin sometimes to sleep, 5 milligrams. But so most of those are like natural. I mean, the only thing I take that's prescribed is Depakote. That make you feel anyway. It was funny, somebody commented on one of my videos today and they said something about it's like really like made her metabolism slow down and she's hungry all the time. I am like so hungry all the time, and my doctor's always like, well, that has to do with the Depakote. And I'm like, yeah, but like the healthiest I've ever been in my life was when I was running 5 to 10 miles a day, and I was on Depakote, and I was eating healthy, and I was in the best shape of my entire life. I was in the gym like 5 days a week lifting too. So I don't, you know, like, I think it really has to do with motivation, and Depakote doesn't really affect your motivation. So, what else? Oh, so Alex said, do you want to go on a date night tonight? I was like, yeah. And then these reps for the convention that he was at wanted to take him and some of the other people like out to dinner, and he was like, well, I'm supposed to go on a date night with my husband. They were taking him to, they were going to take him to St. Elmo's, which is like this great steakhouse in Indianapolis. And I was like, babe, just go. If you want to go, like, I don't care. And he was like, well, I told them that I had a date night with my husband. They told me to bring you. And I was like, honey, I really don't want to go. I had just told him yesterday, because he went out to dinner with his girlfriend, and I said, next time I'll go, and he said, he didn't ask last night. He went out with like 3 girls, and he was like, I said something about going next time or whatever. He's like, okay, I'm going to hold you to it. So tonight when he asked, I was like, I go, I really want to do something low-key. He's like, I don't even feel like going, don't worry about it. So he came home, and we were like laying in bed talking, and you know the rest. And so anyway, we decided to go see It. So we went and saw, we were going to go out to dinner afterwards, but neither one of us was hungry. And quite frankly, I broke my diet and had popcorn and candy. So, but I didn't go out to eat afterwards. I had a little bit of hummus for lunch today. That was all I had. So, and then tomorrow I'm going out to brunch. And I talked about this on my Healthy Life channel today, that I'm struggling sticking to my diet. Oh my God, a bunch of red balloons, just like that movie It. If I saw a clown on the side, let me lock the doors. If I saw a clown on the side of the road right now, I'd lose my mind. So we went and saw It, and okay, I told Alex, I said, I've like really come a long way, because I would never go to a movie on a Friday or Saturday night. I hated it. It was so packed, right? But all the movie theaters that we go to now have that reserved seating, you know, with the chairs that go up. I love it so much. So anyway, I got online and bought our tickets before we went. We had great seats. I love that. Like, I love that you can reserve your seats before you go. Because I'm kind of a planner. Well, like, yeah, I'm like really a planner. So, like, I can schedule those seats, like, you know, earlier in the day or a day in advance, and then know I get to sit exactly where I want to sit in the movie theater. How fantastic is that? I mean, seriously, that is genius if they do that. And I love going to movies. And so I said to him, I said, we were walking out, I go, this is 2 weeks in a row that I've been in a movie on a weekend. And he was like, yeah. I go, well, I'm really proud of myself, because I used to never, I wouldn't be willing to do that. And he just kind of laughed, like, seriously. So my review of It is, I went into it very much knowing what to expect. I knew the premise of the story. I had years ago, like long time ago, seen the original, I think. I don't even remember, honestly. But I knew like that a lot of Stephen King's writing is very much like Stand By Me, because he wrote the short story that inspired that, and that one Atlantis movie, and you know, there's a lot of books of his that are not like horrifying, right? And they always have deeper issues in them, and I would say it's kind of like, somebody said in my live stream tonight, a scarier version of the Goonies. Yes, I would agree. It's a scarier version of the Goonies mixed with Stand By Me, mixed with Stranger Things. And it was, I thought if that's what you're going in there expecting, it's very good. Go see it at IMAX or Dolby Cinema if you can. We're like trying to figure out the right time that we could go. Like, we had to like run out of the house because I was like, I want to see it in IMAX, because I never get to see movies in IMAX. I always pick really bad times for movies. I said I was a planner, but like whenever we like are picking the IMAX movie, it's either at like 10 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock, and so it like doesn't fit for anybody's schedule. But tonight there was like one at 7:45. It was like 7 o'clock. I go, let's go. So we got to watch it at IMAX. It was incredible. It's shot so beautifully. The kid actors in this movie are phenomenal. They are, I mean, the little girl that plays Beverly in the movie, I mean, she's probably not little, she's probably 14 or 15. She is absolutely an amazing actress. I was so impressed. I know, like, this is going to be really hard pressed to say this, but I would be surprised if, like, maybe one or two of those kids is not nominated for some kind of award next year. I mean, it was really, like, the acting was on that level. The guy, that Skarsgård guy that plays Pennywise, he was really good, but I will say this. Like, I thought, Tim, whatever his name is, I almost kind of thought he was a better Pennywise. This Pennywise is a lot scarier, I will say that. And there were a lot of like jump moments and like where you're like, oh, like that, you know, and all that kind of stuff. There were a couple moments of that. I thought if you go into it, it's very much kind of like The Conjuring, like one of those kind of movies, like scary on that level, but not scary like Hellraiser or Nightmare on Elm. It's not like that, you know what I mean? Moments of it are, but not overall. But I still thought it was a good horror movie. I really did. It's funny because I'm reading this horror movie right now, or horror novel right now by Richard Lehman called No Sanctuary, and I have like 20 pages left of it. And I'm like, how is this gonna, it's like two completely different stories, and I'm like, how is he gonna tie this all together in 20 pages? A lot of people are saying there's gonna be a sequel to it. It says at the end of it, chapter 1, it very much could have a sequel to it. It's in 1988. I was telling Alex this. It's interesting when I see like movies that are basically retrospectives, like where they like talk about days, you know, like whatever. There are some things that I feel like they nail like right on, and then there are other things that I feel like they're a little off about. Like, when you see the movie, this won't ruin anything for you. I will never spoil a movie. The bully in the movie, like his hair, his outfit, his car, everything is so on point to all the popular kids that I went to high school with. The main girl that's popular in it, everything about her is not the popular girl. She's like the main stoner girl in high school that I went to high school. She's got the jean jacket with the fringe. I don't remember all the popular kids wearing that shit. I remember the stoner girls wearing those jackets and all that kind of stuff, but I don't remember the and the stoner girls were my friends, so I should know, but like, I don't remember the popular kids having that. The side ponytail, though, I totally kind of remember, but like maybe before 1988, like maybe 84. I don't know that I remember that from 88, you know what I mean? And then like the way that the kids dress that are younger, some of it was very accurate, but this one kid had like a calculator watch on. I remember that from being like younger. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I remember that from like my 6th or 7th grade, which would have been like 84, 83. And then the one kid wears these shorts in the movie that are like so reminiscent of the late 70s. And like, I know that stuff is completely like whatever, but they also pay homage to Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which I think is really interesting, and I want to look into it because they like there's a part where they're like walking past the movie theater and there's a sign for Nightmare on Elm Street 5. So is there a reason why Nightmare on Elm Street 5 would be important, or is that just the Nightmare on Elm Street that would have been out that year? Can we just talk for 1 second? Okay, you know, talk about horror movies. You guys know I love horror movies. Can we talk about for 1 second what I just found out yesterday? That Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back in 2018, and that next Halloween, a year from now, they are releasing the next installment of the Halloween movie, and basically it goes back to, it's going to be the true Halloween 3, as if Halloween 3 never came out. On the same front porch, the same house, and everything. You guys, do you guys understand, like, what a serious moment in, like, filmography this is? I love horror movies, but I was also a film major in college. But seriously, like, I mean, the Halloween franchise alone is such a big deal. And this is like the whole Star Wars thing. Like, when I haven't watched the Star Wars movies, I've only ever seen the first one, and I saw it in the movie theater with my dad when it came out. I was like 4, so I don't remember anything about it, or 5. But I think it came out in 76, which I would have been like 4 or 5 or 77. Didn't it come out back then? So anyway, I want to see those though. Leave it in the comment section below. When people ask me like what order I should watch them in, I don't know which order I should watch the Star Wars movies in. But anyway, it's kind of the same thing. Like, when I consider like the Halloween movies, like I consider Halloween 1, Halloween 2, 3 I don't count because it's completely off. I don't even watch it. I watched it the other night because it's free on demand, but I don't consider it as part of the franchise. 4 and 5 are 2 of my all-time favorites. I would consider them part of the franchise, but offshoots. I don't know why they're part of my all-time favorites, but they are. And then I think it's 6, that's H2O, or is that 7? I don't know which one that is. 6 or 7, when they're at the boarding school with Josh Hartnett. I love that one too, and I would definitely that's like the 3rd one for me in reality. Well, if somebody said to me, like, if I wanted to watch all the Halloweens to get really like acquainted which one should I watch, I would say watch 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. I think 7 is the last one when they did the reality show and Jamie Lee Curtis dies at the beginning of it. So the resurrection. So I think they're ignoring all of those and they're just going back to number 2, which is in the hospital, and then it's going to go to today, which is fantastic, right? But we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm really excited about it. Roseanne and Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis is coming out in 2018. 2018 is my year. I mean, baby, watch out. All kinds of stuff is happening in 2018. It's my year. I can't wait. I got fiction books coming out. I got a lot of people told me they'd be really interested in my motivation books. I got motivation books coming out. I got my channels going, my merch, my ringtones, my album. Alex is like, you're not really putting out a record album, are you? I go, yeah, I am. He goes, are you really going to sing on it? Is there going to be jokes? And I said, oh, no, I'm really going to sing on it. I said, it's a pipe dream of mine. I've always wanted to have an album out. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Garage band or something. He goes, are you really going to put a music album out? I said, hell yes, I am. I said, it's going to have a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll. He goes, what are you going to call it? I said, Dad. He goes, are you seriously? I said, yes. I said, I don't know why this is so hard for people to believe. Life is short. Make your dreams come true. Don't act like y'all wouldn't buy my CD if it came out. You would decide you want it, wouldn't you? Look, Dad, like Joanne, like Lady Gaga. I'm serious though. It's coming out. It's coming out. I'm making an album. I don't know how. I don't know if there's a recording studio somewhere around here. I start writing my lyrics. I do have lyrics to one song, to that hillbilly homophobe redneck gays, redneck gay all day, and Pee-Pee and Peter's bachelor weekend. It's Pee-Pee and Peter's. It might be actually next weekend, Pee-Pee and Peter's bachelor weekend. I don't know. I haven't got the deets yet. So anyway, I've talked for 24 minutes, and I said this was going to be super short. So I think I'm doing a little turnaround right here, and I'm going to listen to my audiobook for a little bit and go home. My head is starting to hurt. I wonder if it's because I didn't have any real dinner tonight. Hungry. I was seriously earlier thinking about like going through and getting fast food. I'm like, don't do it, Peter. Don't do it. You've done so well this year. Don't do it. So I can't do it, right? I can't, right? I shouldn't. I seriously shouldn't. I won't. All right, you guys, listen, I'm going to get off here and listen to my audiobook. Try to do a couple long ones this week. Couple long vlogs. Long vlogs for you. All right, I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.